Well, thanks, Troy. Thanks for agreeing to this in this strange time. This is Troy Roberts, great saxophone player and composer and bass player, touring musician. Hopefully will be again soon. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So the first question is, why do you have music in your life?
Why not? I think I was always kind of fascinated with, fascinated or curious with, just playing with notes and rhythms and melodies. I think even before I was a musician, my dad played some guitar. None of my family were professional musicians, but my dad played a little guitar and my mum played organ. My brother played some bass and guitar as well. So we had those instruments in the house, and although I wasn't taking lessons of any sorts at the time, I used to just mess around with the bass, figuring out the notes, and that curiosity was always there. And I for the most part, I followed my brother with all the things he was into, cricket, swimming, martial arts. But I always kind of faded out because he was really good at everything, especially basketball and martial arts. But music was the one that stuck with me. It was kind of like that fad that never faded out. I'm still fascinated with music, I guess, for the most part. I think, if I remember correctly, after my master's at Miami, I was waiting on my green card, and it wasn't looking hopeful at the time, and I had to move back to Perth while I was waiting because my status was out. And I quit music for about a good part of the year.
Oh, really?
I was just like, man, I had no tours, I had no gigs. I was sitting in Perth again after getting a master's in music. And I was like, there's no future in this, what am I trying to do, making this my life? I can't have a house, I can't have a day job brain works were in full effect. And I kind of got rid of the few instruments I had, and I was applying for jobs out in the mines. At the time, the mining boom was huge. I'm going to move out to the mines and make a shit ton of cash. But they must have all just looked at my resume and laughed, like, music awards and didn't finish high school. Yeah, right.
Yeah, cool. So he's the keys to a huge truck.
Yeah. See all these people from high school. But so it wasn't until I kind of had everything taken away or removed from my life that music, in terms of music, that I realized how important it was to me. Yeah. So I was watching some ex-students do all the gigs I used to do, and they were doing the teaching as well, and I was kind of like not trying to not be a musician, and it felt horrible. So and that little experience made me really realize how important music is to me, and why I'll always have it in my life. It just fulfills me. It's something I always will have to do.
Does that curiosity that you said you went when you were a kid, that curiosity of music, is that still with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like anyone, I have there's periods of being completely and totally uninspired, and then periods where that all just comes back just as strong as when you're a child. I was just always like messing around with notes in terms of just playing around or trying to compose something. I also like the idea of having our secret language on the bandstand. This music thing. It's like I guess it's a healthy blend of that feeling of, you know, when you're a kid and you're playing cops and robbers, there's that imagination of like, you know, you're seeing a whole other scene that's not there.
Yeah.
And playing your game, and it's like that on the bandstand some of the time, as well as having an intelligent conversation as an adult and making some sort of profound musical statements. But I like it. I can't think of many other professions that requires that to kind of be, you know, successful. And you know, this weird pandemic time has really made me realize how much I love the camaraderie with not only my fellow musicians on stage, but an audience. I love kind of having the opportunity to a chance to show people the best of me, because the rest of it's pretty boring. but yeah, just presenting what we do to fresh ears every night is something I guess I kind of took it for granted. I'm really realizing it now, and just watching people like kind of interact or get it, like maybe they might not understand what's exactly happening, but to watch people experience us creating on stage is such a special thing.
Yeah, when people feel something, it can be anything for them. But when you make that connection with someone, it is really special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm realizing that more and more the older I'm getting. You
know. Well, go to the second question, which is, how do you make music?
With a saxophone.
Okay.
Tenor saxophone mainly, for those who may be watching and don't know. And I also play alto and soprano saxophones. Terrible baritone player, but I've done the occasional section. I also play acoustic bass and electric bass. There's a couple of Van Morrison albums I'm on. The last one of which I played a bunch of bass and lots of saxophones overdubbed on it. And also on Joey DiFrancesco's latest album, I played some bass and some multi-layered saxophone stuff on a few tracks. The stuff that Farrah Sanders is on that album, I'm playing bass on at least 2 or 3 tracks. Yeah. And so, I got a little bit jealous that other people had me doing that, like the bass things and like mini sax section stuff. So I did an album that came out last week. It's just me and Jimmy McBride on the drums, and so I could do some bass and saxophone stuff. It's a good challenge for me to prepare for a session because I'm not really like a proper bass player. So it was good, really good for me.
Yeah. So and did that idea come from doing these other sessions?
I guess I've done drips and drabs over the years, like that. A handful of friends' albums, playing some bass and saxophone. So I never really thought of doing something of it on my own until when did I record it? Last year.
Right. So it's almost like you are looking into the future. It's like, you should be recording all that stuff now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe volume 2.
Volume
maybe.
2. Yeah.
So the third question is, what excites you musically right now?
I guess it's a mix of stuff. Listening to my heroes, revisiting some old great records, as well as like some new stuff, like friends albums that have recently come out. I was just checking out Vanessa Perica's new album.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's great writing, great players. It was a while ago, but I kind of revisited checking out Jasmine Nelson's album,
Oh,
Hercules.
yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, what a voice.
Yeah. Yeah, some of my friends are, oh yeah, Orrin Evans's album, I'm on that, but he had a whole bunch of people on that. So there's a bunch of tracks that I wasn't on that I was checking out the rest of the album. It's really cool. It's called The Intangible In Between, I think. And also Robbie Amin's new album, which I'm also on, but the other tracks I never heard that have Bob Franceschini on them.
Right.
It's an awesome album. What else did I check out the other day? Oh, that Julian Wilson Trio Live.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Magnuson and Stephen Grant.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty inspiring. Really been digging Bjork's Utopia and what's the other one called? Valnarica.
Oh, okay.
They were new to me. Also, Yamandu Costa, great Brazilian guitarist, just incredible. Joey DiFrancesco is always hipping me to new players I never heard of. He showed me this guy, texted me the other day, Harold Vick. It's a guy that played like around the 60s with Jimmy McGriff.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of the biggest saxophone sounds ever.
Right.
My landlord's also texting me stuff like to check out that I've never heard. Like he hit me to this Dennis Chambers album called Outbreak the other day. It's got some great breaker on it. And, yeah, it's funky as.
Awesome.
Yeah, Lee Konitz just died, so I mean, kind of revisiting some of those great albums. That Alone Together album is so beautiful, with Brad Meldau and Charlie Hayden, and also that Kenny Wheeler Angel Song album.
Yeah.
I got to spend a day with Lee once, which was pretty awesome.
What was how did that come about?
I was playing at the Vanguard with Tane, Jeff Worth's quartet, and Lee was at the gig and we were chatting in the break, and I wasn't sure if it was Lee Konitz or not because, I'd only seen kind of younger pictures or whatever, and I always had in my head that he lived in Germany because his wife is German. Right. But or was she German? I don't know. But I heard that he lived in Germany. But I'm chatting with this old guy in the break, trying to figure out if it was Lee or not. And so, like, coming up with all these general questions that could be taken either way. And anyway, so at the end, I said, he said, if you want to get lunch and hang out sometime, give me a call. I live on the Upper West Side. So I said, I don't have my phone on me. Can you write your number down? And he got on the napkin and wrote Konitz and his number. I was like, wow, okay, it really is him. So then all the real questions came out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Are you related to Lee Konitz?
So, yeah, I met up with him, I think a couple of weeks later, spent a day with him. It was awesome. And that was maybe about 6 years ago now.
Right.
He was such an interesting mix of sweet old man and colorfully dysfunctional jazz musician.
Awesome.
For lack of better words. But yeah, it was awesome. He had so many stories.
Oh man.
It's funny, his memory was kind of going, but he was so incredibly aware about it. Like he'd open a drawer that had all these albums that he played on, and he's pulling them out, and he's like, "Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I don't remember half the things I did." And I said, "Man, what's that like?" He's like, "Well, it's pretty good. I put on a CD and I listen to myself for the first time. I think you play pretty good."
Jeez, that's wild. Yeah,
funny, man. There's lots of interesting stories. There are lots of misconceptions. I thought him and Warren Marsh would have been really tight. So like, man, so what was it like? What was Warren Marsh like? And he said, I really don't know. We didn't know each other outside of the studio.
Wow.
He was into drugs and stuff, and I wasn't into any of that. We never hung out. We had a common friend with Lenny Tristano, but I didn't really know him.
Jeez. What?
Yeah, hearing those kind of things was weird. Getz was an asshole to him. He was, play a lot of the same festivals, and he said Getz and Stitt would be on the side of the stage, kind of making fun of him. And he said Getz eventually came around and showed some respect, but Stitt never did. And yeah, he seemed to have all these beefs with people, like either but from feeling disrespected or. Yeah, but he said he was really tight with Bird. So Bird really respected him because he was like the one guy at the time that was obviously not trying to sound like him.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez.
I'm glad I got to spend some time with Lee.
No, you're very lucky.
Mm.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for having a chat. We could go all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you make sure you send me some links to albums and stuff that I'll put in the at the bottom of the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Cheers,
man.
mates.
All right, catch you soon.
Stay in touch, man.